sharing my content bullet journal setup. Hi there, welcome to today's video. I am Natasha of Natasha Miller Creates, and today I'm sharing how I set up my content bullet journal. As you can see, this is my third quarter putting this together, and I have some mixed results with it. But first I want to talk about setting this journal up. Now, I am a creative journaler, so I will always find a way to put color and fun into a layout. For my content bullet journal, I like to use washi. I, like many of us, I'm sure, have a ton of washi that I never really get around to using. And so I've decided that for my content bullet journal, I'm going to exclusively be using washi to set it up. And so in my third month or third quarter of putting this together with washi, and it's been really fun to go back and look and see. Since this next quarter captures April, May, and June, I opted for a more summery theme with the dolphins and the whales. Now, this washi is from Archer and Olive 2 years ago, I believe, so it's no longer available, but there's always lots of summer washi coming out from different brands. And so definitely, if this is inspiring to you, hopefully you can find something similar. For my stamp sets, I am using an Ali Edwards stamp set, a Amy Tangerine stamp set, which you've seen me use before because it is my absolute favorite, and then an alphabet typewriter stamp set that I got off of Amazon, and all of those are linked over on my blog, which I've linked down below, so you can head on over there if you want to grab any of these supplies. But as with all of my other cover pages so far, I stamped the 3 months that the next set of pages will cover, which is April, May, and June, like I've said. This cover page will also include my 3-month overview. So that means it'll capture important dates for the month, a little to-do list of what I need to accomplish for the month, a mini goal focus, and some action steps. So when I first set this video up, which I've linked up in the cards, I did my goal planning and included my goals within this content journal. And I split it up into mini goals. And so my intention has been to isolate a mini goal that I want to work on for the quarter and then get that mini goal done. Now, these mini goals, granted, I call them mini goals. They probably are maxi goals. But basically, if I do accomplish that goal in less than the 3 months, then I will work on the next one. So it's not like I pack it in for I finish my mini goal in the first month and then pack it in for the rest of the quarter. No, I will just move on to my next goal. That is just my main focus for the quarter. For my tabs, I'm using Archer and Olive acrylographs, the paint pens. And what's great about those is I feel it kind of reinforces the tab and makes it stronger since I color in on both sides of the tab. And then I just add in what that page is. So this is using my favorite Amy Tangerine alphabet stamp set. Unfortunately, it's been discontinued, but there are some similar stamp sets available. So if you're curious to get a similar one, just let me know down in the comments below. And then this is my Amazon typewriter stamp set. So this is my third time setting this up, or the third quarter that I set up. If you watch my latest bullet journal video, I talk about how I try things at least 3 times. So technically this will be my third time setting this up. And so I will reanalyze and make sure it still works for me. Now, in terms of my goal progress, I'm not going to lie, it's not looking good. I have hit some snags. And then I get really down on myself, and then it's a bit of a struggle to pull myself back up again, or even worse than that, I get distracted by something else. So I'm definitely going to, this quarter especially, put a lot more focus on this journal, on achieving my goals, and just being more intentional with my time. I think that's the biggest thing we all say is, oh, I don't have time. Oh, I don't have time. Well, I have time to set up, I make time to set up these beautiful journals. So now I'm going to make time to actually use them. So for this layout, I am using a kind of a Kanban board setup where I move my sticky notes. I use sticky notes on this page from ideas, in progress, ongoing, and expedited. So in the setup of the bullet journal, I have a page where I have content ideas written down on sticky notes. And then for the quarter, this is where the sticky notes come to live. So I put the sticky note under ideas until I can start executing it, in which case it moves to in progress. If it's something that's ongoing, for example, I will do bullet journal setups every month. So a bullet journal setup will be ongoing. And then I have expedited. So if I have a new idea or I'm really excited about something, I'll put it under expedited. And then once I've done the editing and written the blog post, it moves on to the calendar. Now the calendar is what you'll see me set up next. So I will talk about that in the next video. I call this page my workflow page. It is based on a Kanban method. I thought about only having one Kanban board at the beginning of my journal, and I have set up journals in the past where I have put Kanban boards in. I like having them. I like having them with this as well. I do use this together with Notion. Notion is where I go and I put all my notes and all of my blog drafts and all of those ideas actually go into Notion once I've developed the idea. And then this is just to keep track, like physical track of where things are at so that I don't forget about them along the way. So now we're onto the calendar page. I set up 3 calendar pages, in this case, one for April, one for May, and one for June. I'm just going to share the one calendar setup because it all looks the same. The boxes are wider than they are longer. I am having a hard time finding sticky notes that I like to go in these boxes. And I'm also still working on color coordinating the stickies based on blog content, blog, YouTube content, Reels, TikToks, things like that. But for the most part, I do find that this is working for me. It can be working better if I relied on it more. Like I said, if I stop getting distracted by shiny things, in theory, it'll go better. I basically have the mentality, the hustle mentality, if you will. It is not doing any favors for me. This is a topic for another blog post or video. I'm not going to address it right now. I haven't really gathered my thoughts on it yet, but this is basically how I'm trying to contain my brain to focus on what it needs to focus on at the time. I was going to say one thing at a time, but that's not it. That's not my that's not my alley. So focus on what's in front of me, basically. I stamp the month, which matches the cover page with the Ali Edwards stamp. And then I go in and I do the days of the week and the dates for the days of the week with the alphabet stamp. I always like to play a game when I do these. I try and touch every stamp only once. So Saturday and Sunday, S, I touch once, S and S, and so on and so forth. I also left in how I stamp the numbers on the calendar because it's really fun to just, again, touch every stamp once. That is the goal. I did not hit that goal. I forgot to stamp an 8 and had to go back and stamp an 8, but I don't know, it keeps me busy. It's fun. I know one of the questions you might have is why stamp like this when it takes so long? And the short answer is because I enjoy it. The long answer is because it's meditative. When you are stamping individual words or letters, just that act of back and forth. And yes, you have to think, okay, what stamp do I need next? But I do find the process itself very meditative, and I'll have a movie on in the background or a video or a playlist, and it's just it's decompression time for me. It's mindless, and so that is a long story as to why I do this. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't draw that line in initially, the tab was still wet and I didn't want to get the paint everywhere on my ruler, over my book, or on me. I've ruined so many hoodies getting paint on the sleeve, and so I'm excited. I might have to go for hoodie shopping, which will be fun. I've spoke about it in a previous video, but I am going to go wild, so I'm super excited to get ready for that and get all the pieces in place that I want. So that's kind of what's taking over a lot of my brain space right now. So for this layout, it's my monthly overview. So basically, it's my month in review rather. And my intentions for this page is to look back on the month and look at what went well, what I need to work on, my goal progress, my focus for the next quarter, what I'm leaving behind, and what I'm most excited for. I have not been good about filling this page out. A lot of the reason why is I feel guilty when I haven't accomplished a goal or come close to accomplishing the goal. And that's really silly because that's part of leaving behind is that guilt. So I'm not a huge journal writing person. I'm more a journal painting, drawing, creating person. I really learned that about myself watching videos, other people's journaling videos. And while I do see value in that journaling aspect, it's just not necessarily for me. I've been trying to do a lot of reflection journaling through my reflection journal series, and that's been really good and fun, and just to experiment with the different ways of doing it. And so one thing that I want to be more intentional about for the next quarter is using these pages and being honest with myself and confronting the truth of why I didn't accomplish or reach certain goals, or why I didn't get enough content out, and just, I don't want to say deep diving it, but just being honest with myself about it. So this is coming to the end of my video. I know it got really deep there. So if you weren't expecting such a deep video, I do apologize. It's just what's on my mind and my musings. Sometimes I may have something in mind that I want to talk about, but I thought for a content bullet journal, I wanted to be honest about how I'm using it, how I'm not using it, and how I want to be better about using it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If something caught your interest and you found a layout that you would like to use, let me know what it is down below. My favorite is the workflow layout. But thank you so much for your time today, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. For more layout inspiration, check out either of these two videos, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching today.